Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica. Today I'm going to be talking about the books I've been reading lately. I've been gone for like 4 months, and I do have a booktube channel, but I haven't been posting on it lately, and I think I might just be because I don't think I have like the drive to be trying to drive another channel. I think I'm just going to post my book stuff here because I haven't been reading as much as I was when I started that channel. So yeah, but I've been reading a lot because I was an English literature major, meaning as of May I graduated. So yeah, a lot of these are going to be books that I've read from, my classes, and the ones that made like impressions on me. I read other books as well, but I'm not going to bring up everything. And then because sometimes I just get tired talking about it from classes. But yeah, I'm going to bring up the ones that brought an impression on me. And then I also have one book or two books, actually a handful of books that I've been reading for my own pleasure as well. So yeah, I think it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Let me know also what you've been reading. I want to hear that. Okay, so first of all, if you haven't seen, I've posted a books about race video, and it also has media in it, and it's like this big resource that I've kind of put together where obviously it's not exhaustive. There's, a lot, but it does have like 40 plus books on there. So, if you want to think about something to read, do that. And some of these books that I'm going to be talking about are also on that list. Let's just get into this. So this last semester I had a class where it was women in literature class, and this book I have is Under the Feet of Jesus by Helena Maria Viramontes. This was a great novel. This was about a girl called Estrella. She is a Mexican-American woman, girl coming into womanhood, and her family, they do work for the farming. They do like the farming picking, and they live kind of on the borders, and it's basically about that. It's a literary fiction book, so that with lots of symbolism, metaphors, all of that fun stuff that I absolutely eat up, but I know it's not necessarily always accessible to a bunch of people. But yeah, this was really, really good. Really interesting. And yeah, it's about people who live on the border and what that kind of dualism is like, kind of being one or the other and then neither at the same time. So yeah, it was really interesting and powerful and just freaking amazing. So I want to read more from Helena Maria Viramontes because this was just really good, and it's pretty short too. I think it is accessible in terms of the length, because sometimes whenever you get into literary fiction, it just like the length of it can be intimidating, but this is only 180 pages, so really, really strong and powerful, and I just loved it. Great women represented. Next, let's talk about Zammy, A New Spelling of My Name by Audre Lorde. So Audre Lorde, definitely check her out. She has so many different other things, but she is a Black lesbian author. So yeah, this was written in 1982. This one was also in the video about race. So if you want to hear more about it, go ahead and go over there. But this is a biomythography of her life. I just think that what really I got from it, because again, I was reading it through the lens of women in literature, was the group of like women that she had around her, like really protected her, because we were thinking about, a lot of times, and this was actually in correlation with another book that we read too, but a lot of times women are depicted in relation to men. And she was able to have like a strong, powerful tribe of women around her, and hardly ever talked about like men and like the need for it as well. And I just thought it was so interesting and a really refreshing take on it, because like I said, a lot of times we talk about like womanhood and women and the power dynamics in society of women in relation to men, and this was just a refreshing take on things. This is a denser book. This is a little bit harder to get through, but I also feel like it was harder to get through for me because well, one, it was more to it, but also it was like while I was transitioning during the pandemic, like this was assigned and I had to finish it in like a week, like while I was like moving and stuff. So there was a lot going on in my personal life as well, but this was really, really good. I thought it was just so fun to read about strength in women. Let's go ahead and talk about Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Oh my gosh, this was torn up. So this was also really good. This is about Jane Eyre, and she is an orphan, and it's about her oppression basically in society. It's a gothic novel. A lot of people like, I heard that people are like, this was so good for like the romance and everything. I'm like, what? The romance? I think it's great, but it was great in terms of like the gothic novel side of things and bringing in the thoughts of like, or the aspect of like the sublime and things like that, and like the literary aspect of things and then the themes. I like the romance. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But yeah, this was pretty good. Yeah, I have thoughts. I have positive thoughts and negative thoughts with any criticism of a book. But yeah, there we go. The only issue I have with this book, not only, but the biggest issue I have with this book is the racist depiction of the character Bertha. And what was so great is that my professor actually told us to read this, and then by the end we went into a post-colonial aspect of the class, and we had to pick up The Wide Sargasso Sea by Jean Rhys. So this is actually told from Bertha's perspective, which is, she is actually called Antoinette Causeway in this book, and the renaming is a way of like taking claim of someone. So Rochester takes claim of Bertha in this book, or in this book too, that's kind of like what it's about, but takes claim over Antoinette, calls her Bertha. Anyways, this is told from her point of view, because in this, she gets like no words in it, hardly. I think maybe like sounds or maybe a couple words, but really no voice. This is all, not all of it, but her voice and Rochester's voice as well. So yeah, really interesting, really good. It's, again, kind of like fan fiction, but like really well done fan fiction basically, and this was 169 pages. Like, I love that that was redefining a classic, you know? It was kind of like showing the issues with something that was so good, but bringing in new art for it, which is great. Okay, so the next thing we have is A Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. So I read this in the winter time over winter break, and then I found out for women in literature class we were going to be reading this, and I reread it and I loved it. So all of the tab marks. I love Roxane Gay. I have 2 other books by her. I have Hunger, which is one of her memoirs about her journey with her weight, and then also I have or her relation with food, and then I have also Not That Bad, which is like a collection of stories about rape culture that she edited it, like she basically brought all these different authors and essays together to make Not That Bad. But yeah, I think she's amazing. There's a TED Talk video of her, if I can re-find it, that I saw, like, again, it was for this class. If I can find it, it's so powerful. I'll link that down below. I think y'all should. I mean, I think it's only like 10 minutes, so totally worth it. But yes, Bad Feminist is amazing. Next we have Becoming by Michelle Obama. This is going to be the 3rd time I've mentioned this in a video, and I just recently read this. I have this in Loving lately, and then also in the Books About Race video that I made not too long ago. So yeah, I don't know, it's her memoir. Like, I don't know what else to like say about it. I've loved it. She obviously, like, it was really interesting point of view in terms of, you know, being the first Black First Lady and the first Black president. So yeah, obviously she does, like, she's aware of her privilege as well, which is great to, you know, hear and see. Like, obviously this was like a decent ride. Like, the very beginning was like a little bit slower, and then the middle was like about her and Brock falling in love, and I loved that and everything, and like kind of figuring things out. And then the last bit was about the actual presidency, and then, you know, the very last bit was basically coming into when Trump was getting elected, and that moment, like reliving that, like in my own mind, and reading this, like I was just crying. I was bawling by the end of it, because it was just like I was kind of reliving the anxiety that I was feeling during that time. So I guess maybe a little triggering. I still loved it. Like, it was just great, and I totally connect with Michelle Obama, and I'm just like, can we be friends already? Oh my goodness, if you're not gonna run for president, can we at least be friends? But yeah, so the last few books that I want to mention, and I'm kind of still in the middle of this one, but I received the Harry Potter illustrated editions from for Christmas, and with the whole JK Rowling issue, I just I kind of want to start a conversation. For one thing, I want to go ahead and stand out and say that I'm totally against what JK Rowling is saying. I want to say that I completely support trans people, and I completely support the LGBTQIA, I think, plus community. I want to say that I stand with you all. I'm an ally, all of that. I want to kind of have a discussion quickly about what you all think about how to go on with Harry Potter. I mean, I think that, I don't know, there's just it's so hard, right? I think, honestly, like, I've been reading this book. This is the fourth one. This is The Goblet of Fire. And ever since those tweets kind of came out, and it's been harder for me to read it and, like, enjoy it. But at the same time, I'm also reading it and being able to be more critical and less nostalgic and less, like, discovery of it. So I kind of believe on the side of, like, the theory of death of an author by Barth, in that, yes, I think that it's important what the author brings to the page. However, it's the reader who makes the story come to life, and the reader who brings their own interpretations and their own experiences to the page. I don't know, I think that there's nothing, like, things shouldn't be taken away. Like, if you find solace in something, just because the author or the creator of that has a different view, I don't know, but it's also hard. It's like, how do you, like, take in, I know that wasn't a complete sentence, but how do you take in, you know, a piece of work where, like, the creator doesn't believe in your identity or existence? I don't know. I would love to know what you all think. I also am bummed because I think that, well, firstly, I, like, was introduced to the Harry Potter books actually because of the movies. I didn't read the books first. I watched the movies, not all the movies. I started reading the books, like, once the movies came out. But and with that, the good and bad thing about film is that there are so many different people working on it. There's so many different hands on it. And there's not necessarily, like, we kind of hold, like, authorship for the director, but, like, it's not really just about, like, the director or anything like that. Like, obviously, JK Rowling's created this world, and so it was her creating this place. It would be a shame, and I think this is what's happened, like, with scandals with actors and everything. It's a shame to kind of cancel something when it's other people's works also involved in it. I think that the books is one thing, and I just don't know, like, where do we go from here, right? Like, what's gonna happen with, I mean, I don't know, like, what's gonna happen with the new movies that have been coming out? Are they gonna come out? Because I know JK Rowling had, like, a hand in writing all of that. Like, I think she was the one writing all of the new movie scripts and everything. And I don't want to support it, but, like, what do we do? Where do we go from here? Also, I guess, is it Universal, right? Universal Studios has, like, the rights to all that, or is it Warner Brothers? I'm not quite sure, but, like, what's their response too, you know? And yeah, it's just hard because I know there are so many, like, even just channels and, like, people's identity that's really connected to it. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I want to know what your take is. I don't think that there's necessarily a wrong or right answer unless you're just like, I don't know, I guess there's a wrong answer for me on this channel in terms of, like, I support JK Rowling. That's a wrong answer. Personally, that's what I think. So if you have that, if that's your answer, please don't comment. How are you dealing with this? How are you dealing with, like, all of that? I don't necessarily, like I said, I don't think I believe in cancel culture, and I don't know. This doesn't mean I won't ever read the Harry Potter books, but I just don't know if I'll never, like, I may never buy another, like, Harry Potter licensed thing, which again is kind of a shame, because if you think about this person who did the illustrations, like, that's their work being canceled now too. So who knows? I'm not really sure how to go about this, but we will see. I'd love to hear what your advice is. I'd love to hear your ideas and hear what you have to say. Also, I do want to go ahead and point out, like, that there's a video I'm going to link down below, and it's by a transgender person as well. She was talking about, like, the ignorance in JK Rowling's tweets. So if you don't get it, you can go ahead and watch that video. I'll go ahead and find that and put that down. I think it's like a 20-minute video. It's pretty good. She has a lot of really good points. I hope you all are doing well. Please let me know what you've been reading lately. Let me know if there's any good reads out there that you want me to check out. I would love to do that. But yeah, have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye.